Alright guys, welcome to the Red Report. We have an absolute whole sea's worth of news this week. A lot of crazy stuff happening. So get some drinks, get a snack, get comfy. It's a sit-in. Let's pop over to Reddit to see what those absolute wallopers have been up to. First up we have this from TRI-HEX. What we have versus what we want. Also what we want. Also definitely what we want. What we want. Please give now. I think you get the idea. Not just that, but think how cool they would look on the side of a hull C or something. And for just lying scattered around your hangars and bases and whatnot, or your little decorated areas. I'm sure they'll come in due time, and you'll be able to buy the 10 cargo box paint pack for the price of an entire AAA game. Prototype spaceflight Yoke I'm working on for MISC Crusader ships by Tango 91. Bro, that should be illegal. What? Okay, that's insane. I'm honestly not even sure if I like people like this. It's too advanced. They make me feel inadequate. This is honestly just nuts. I'm not sure I would like to PvP with it, but see for doing hauling or something, this looks amazing. Well done, Tango. Cooler than a polar bear's tits. And there we go from that to this by Power Off. Words just... Look, it's got little wheels. It's actually rotating a little bit, as well as all the other movement that it appears to be doing. Dudes in VR, 6 degrees of freedom. That must be absolutely blinding sitting in that thing. Like, this is my dream right here. You know, once the kids leave home and I can reclaim one of those bedrooms. This is the plan. Impressive stuff, Power Off. I think if somebody was to offer me a try one of these things, I would have to turn it down because there would be no going back. Star Citizen would just never be the same after that. Sitting on your squeaky office chair that slowly decompresses over time. Be depressing, in fact. Still, very cool stuff. This one is by RRC Serial. And it's called 10 out of 10 Toilet Experience. And yeah, that just keeps on going. And then all of a sudden, dude pops out the toilet again. Absolutely transcendent experience. Like the best crap you've ever had in your life. Somebody called Raziel Y2K uploaded some Crusader apartments. And as you can see, it's just a 3D render made purely from what they would imagine this would look like. And they're pretty cool. I would prefer them to be a little less Crusader, but it does bring up an important point, and a good topic for discussion actually, like when are we likely to see these in the game, and how customizable will they be? I think it could be quite an easy money revenue stream for CIG. Perhaps after bases are in, they'll start looking at temporary accommodation for players that will both become a money sink in game, but will allow them to sell lots of trinkets and ornaments and maybe decals and paints and whatever to adorn your personal living spaces in the game. And I think I would be fine with that. I'd be fine if that was how long term they would look to make money. Just little cosmetic things. Obviously you should be able to find things in game as well and craft them, find blueprints, because the art teams are excellent at designing locations and props that we find in places, and allowing them to just go wild would be a really nice point to reach in Star Citizen's history. I know it might be down the road, possibly late in the development, but I'm looking forward to it, to see where they go with it. Nice one, Raziel. Nice insight there, dude. Look at this little thing. This was made by, let me check, Tristpawn. Oh wait, I recognise that guy. Oh, hold on.
I have just finished my first Star Citizen miniature and diorama, and this is the making of, documenting the whole process.
Oh cool, so he's put up a whole making of video for this little diorama that he's made. That's really, really well done. I've always fancied doing something like this, but I just don't have the patience, I don't think. I would start it and never finish it, basically. Absolutely beautiful, dude. But it's an interesting video to watch. It's quite calm, it's quite relaxing. All the links will be below. And obviously it wouldn't be a Red Report without a Lego freaking spaceship. This is from Loroboros, which is a masterful name, by the way. This thing is massive, by the way. It's a whole meter wide with the wings down. Absolutely nuts. The wings even fold out properly and slide along the rails when they extend. Massive time, thought and effort here. And look at the interior. There's a medical bay and a crafting room there. It's even got a little elevator, look, on a scissor lift. Well done, Laura Boris. This is exceptional stuff. You win, dude. You win community news for the day. Absolutely superb. If you could just pack this into a box and send it to my address, that would be awesome. I hope Alpha UAC is okay. Maybe some comp boards and stuff. Without a doubt, an absolute labour of love. Last minute addition here from Sethiest, the Anvil Barista. Yep. I mean, why not, right? Imagine in a couple of years' time, you're pulling up to a popular ground mining location. There's a bunch of guys all gathering mushrooms or gems or something, and you just roll this out the back of your ship. And as soon as everybody hears it, they just drop tools, come over, get a hot dog and a coffee, and you make not enough money to even pay for your fuel. It's a life. It's a living. Every day we're shuffling, bro. Let's have it, CIG. If you can make a street sweeper, you can make a burger van. Barista thing. Just saying. The first details of the RSI Hermes have emerged. Unlike its mythical namesake, the RSI Hermes is no trickster. It really is that fast. Featuring a bespoke, innovative thruster package, an impressive array of defensive measures, and a sizable cargo hold, the Hermes is ready to speed deliveries to their final destinations, even to dangerous drop-offs other haulers wouldn't dare go. Its speed is 160 SCM, 335 with boost, 1075 at nav. Default loadout is 2 size 2 power, 2 size 2 cooler, 4 size 2 shield, and 1 size 2 quantum drive. None of those components are anything special. 2 size 2 bespoke missile racks with 8 size 2 missile hardpoints. 2 size 4 weapon hardpoints with CF447 repeaters. And 1 remote turret with 2 size 4 CF447s again. That's actually reasonably defensible. It is launching with a big bunch of liveries. I'm counting about 9. Hopefully that's flicking past your screens right now. I do not know at this time, I would assume not, if these paints are going to be treated as a different hull. If they are, CIG can stick them where the sun does not shine. It has 2 internal grids that can hold a total of 288 SCU. There's a central rail running along the centre of the entire cargo grid that the tractor beam can manoeuvre along. Obviously the rear door has been widened quite significantly, but from what we can tell, the sides don't open up, and I don't think you're going to be getting many vehicles in that back door. In fact, 32 could be a bit of a pain in the arse. So yeah, obviously we'll need to wait until we get our hands on, but I'm pressing X to doubt on this one. Just seems like it was shoehorned in there to me, which is a real pity. But in my mind, for this to be an effective cargo ship, the roof would maybe need to slide open and the sides would need to move down, or, you know, something more than just tiny slot at the back for squeezing crates through. Nice ship, decent capacity, looks like it'll be pretty strong actually. Design and everything's all top notch as usual, but concept wise, I don't know, it's falling a bit flat for me. I'm not actually sure where these images came from, by the way, so whoever you are, I do apologise. But the footage comes from Xenon over on the pipeline. I'll leave a link below for the full tour if you want to go and watch that. Okay, let's go over some dev responses now. There has been a massive update to VR and Star Citizen going into 4.6. Tons of bug fixes and stability stuff. Some new options have been added. A selection to offset aiming down sights when you're in first person on foot to your dominant eye, which is pretty important, and I only realised this recently, but people have a dominant eye and they tend to use it when aiming down guns, for example. So hopefully that's helping those guys out. They've been doing some scaling for the cursor and the sensitivity, coupling it to head movement or eye tracking for when you're trying to select things. They've added a depth of field toggle as well, and also adjusted the mobi-glass distance. They've greatly improved the mirror mode now as well, and if you've seen the last video I did on the VR headset, it was a bit of a struggle to get good footage of what I was doing in game, so hopefully that'll be a lot better now. And in about a week or so I'll be doing an update, just something like 1 month later with VR, to let everyone know how it's been settling in and how I'm feeling about the system. The launcher will soon get an update to enable disable VR from there before you even launch the game, which is a fantastic move, especially for me because I'm primarily recording not in VR when I'm gathering footage and things like that. HDR capability has also been added to VR. This will only affect a few people because there's only a few HDR headsets out there, but it can be enabled with R_stereo mode allow HDR equals 1. And this requires you to have an HDR monitor as well for that to work correctly. The UI menu in the game is now world locked in front of the player instead of view aligned, significantly improving usability. They are still working on getting Pimax Open XR to work with easy anti-cheat, and we have to be patient, which would be awesome for anybody that's used a code and got themselves hooked up to the Pimax VR. Somebody was asking if it would be possible to get those decoupled cursor options for other head tracking tools like Toby, etc., so that you didn't have to use your head to select things and you could instead use your eyes. Yogi says, as Sylvan said previously, it requires a bit of rework. Right now, processing the VR inputs is just using the same path as normal head tracking, which is why we can't decouple that easily. It's a valid request, but we'd rather get some other stuff out of the way first. That is unfortunate. This guy was asking if we could get head tracking based targeting. It used to be there, but now there's only eye tracking based targeting, which seems unfair. Now, I've also had issues with this. Yogi says, last time I checked, target selection via VR worked without issues. I don't know if he means head tracking there or not. I'll take another look. This guy here appears to have it working with track IR. Look direction works as expected, can target a ship looking backwards, etc. So I'm thinking there's a setting that's been turned off or added at some point and needs re-enabled. I shall dig further into this. Dan from the CIG vehicle art team is going to push for more spots for putting up posters around the Polaris, specifically the rec room and the captain's quarters, since a lot of people have messaged about it, and he's doing that because he's freaking awesome. Okay, I've decided to split this video into two because it's over an hour long and I wouldn't get it all finished in time. So expect to see me again pretty soon with the other half of the news that's been happening in the last week, including massive amount of details about the crafting and base building, by the way, that's been data mined, as well as all the stuff from the monthly report. I'm going to publish this video and start working on the next one straight away. I already have most of the audio recorded. I just need to put some images on there and stuff and make it look good. It shall be with you momentarily. Well, 7 guys.